Michigan Wolverines on Saturday. The Wolverines upsetting top seed Penn State. Wierman and Narewski on the opening draw, and it belongs to Johns Hopkins off the ground. Mazzone, who is a ground ball magnet, had 8 ground balls in the regular season finale against Maryland just a few days ago.
Incredible ground ball pickup by Alex Mazzone. So good off of the wings, first team All Big Ten selection, and that's good news for the Blue Jay faithful.
Today.
That was an awesome game. I know you and I had an incredible time calling it. Good energy, good crowd, good lacrosse, intense. And if you're Maryland, you're a little lethargic. Coming out offensively, sloppy. If you're Johns Hopkins, you have to feel really, really good. The layoff seems to have done you good. Fresh legs, pep in the step, confidence. This is a Johns Hopkins team looking to make some noise. Again, another lock for the NCAA tournament.
It's one here in the semis, gets Maryland and head coach John Tillman on the board. Back to the face-off dot where Narewski comes up with the draw over Wierman.
Now that's Maryland lacrosse. You make a mistake, Hopkins failed clear after killing the man-up opportunity. Maryland is going to bite you if you give them second chance.
First 2 that Mark just showed you. Chorus is on the board for Maryland, stemming the tide, and then Luke Wierman wins the draw. Wierman, one of the best face-off X-Men in the country.
And Wierman won that face-off, but then got drilled as he gave the ball away. Borderline, the official didn't throw his flag, could have, and I wouldn't have argued with it, but they're looking to inflict a little bit of punishment on number 52 in red.
Depending upon who you listen to, it's all-time meeting number 126 or 119 in this fabulous rivalry. Marseille being heavily ridden on the end line there by Wierman. And the call will give possession to the University of Maryland.
Marseille getting up gives Wierman the business from behind, and the officials are allowing it. Typically in a Maryland-Hopkins game with the Wolves, finds the back of the cage.
Kelly continuing his point-scoring streak as Wierman gets the draw from Narewski and goes to goal and snapped it high, and then he paid for it as Wierman was decked again. Daniel Kelly points in 16 straight, goals in all 14 this season for Maryland. Urksa jogs it in off the end line. Since 1980, only 5 Hopkins freshman midfielders with 20 or more goals. Rabel, Kimmel, Tinney, and the great Del Dressel on the board.
4-time first-team All-American.
Dressel doing tremendous damage all 4 of his years. All-American seasons.
Jack Whittier with a pretty goal.
Jeff and Tammy Siracusa can be very proud of their baby boy. Back on the board again, goals in 3 of his last 5, and off the draw. The possession belongs to the Blue Jays. Maryland back within 1.
If you're Johns Hopkins, I mean, I don't think it was going to happen, but you had Maryland down 3-0. Now the Terps have been opportunistic, has tied the game at 4.
The officials awarding Luke Wierman the ball off the ensuing face-off. Chance for Maryland to grab a lead now for the first time today. Rupel, we mentioned the freshman. He's just the 3rd freshman to start in goal for Maryland since 1993.
Shuck check down, left-handed player. I don't think he was going to be able to pick it up, turn, or backhand it in. Marseille vacates the crease. Whittier picks it up, open net goal.
That was a really good first stop, but with so much power, Marseille not able to corral that in his cross. Keepers always talk about having the soft hands and trying to just nestle those outside shots. That wasn't that far outside, and it was coming better than 90 miles an hour.
If Marseille's going to try to get that ground ball, I thought he should have come out with a big check down to clamp it and pull it back into his crease by keeping a toe in the crease. He doesn't do that. Ball pops around. Whittier's Johnny on the spot. He redirects it into the back of the net.
Maryland on its first lead at 5-4. Outscoring Johns Hopkins 4-1 in this second quarter. Luke Wierman improving at the face-off dot. Wierman now better than 600 career face-off wins.
Guy's a workhorse. He wants to be out there for every single face-off.
On this draw, we have not seen Tyler Dunn to this point. Dunn, who gave Wierman a lot of troubles in the last meeting between these two. Narewski comes up with this face-off. Final 7 seconds of the quarter. Melendez.
He doesn't
encouraged
recognize.
to go to goal now. He didn't realize it. Floated inside. The Terps this season, 7-1 when leading at the half. The only time they've lost was 12 days ago to these Blue Jays, who bested them at CQ Stadium. Procedure off the start of the second half draw against Wierman gives possession to Johns Hopkins in white.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams are in the NCAA tournament. I think they are.
With just 2 seconds left on the shot clock, 6-5 Terps, and back to the face-off X, a win for Wierman as he flips that one out under control for Jack McDonald. McDonald getting a lot of playing time today with John Geppert ailing. We've seen the star long stick midfielder for Maryland only sparingly on man-down situations. To this, he has tallies in 9 of his 14 games this season. Narewski came away with a draw, didn't come up with possession, however. Schaller does for the Terps, and looking to run. Working in, it's Alex Wicks. Wicks on the feed pass break. Murphy took his eyes off it there.
With the trail, juice goal for the Blue Jays.
Raposo, earlier season tallies against Rutgers and Virginia. That's the 16th goal this season that Johns Hopkins has received from non-offensive personnel. Sidelines fired up there. John Tillman, the head coach, was saying, we want to be better, deeper into the possessions in this meeting with Johns Hopkins. That was a perfect example. Narewski on his way, knocked aside by the netminder Rupel.
Free and his feet set, that is the end result.
These two met in last year's Big Ten tournament semifinals. Maryland prevailed, but Degnan scored 4 times. He has one today. He has Johns Hopkins back within one and with possession.
You've earned it. We want you to wear the number 1. He says you do not say no. Never been much of a numbers guy, was assigned a number when he arrived at Maryland, didn't really care, switched to 43 at the behest of the coaching staff, but he signifies what that number 1 jersey means, be the best, and he certainly is one of the best at his position in the country.
Johns Hopkins has the ball. That's Jack Hawley, the captain, the wing specialist. For the Terps now, with just over 4 minutes to go in the third, and Wierman gets the draw away from Narewski. Narewski has handled himself very, very...
Second consecutive tally.
Schaller, the 4-0 student, sets up Murphy for the hat trick. His third goal of the game. Maryland has had a player record a hat trick in 70 of the last 71. Ball loose. Officials awarding possession to Johns Hopkins.
That left foot of Owen Murphy stepped on the restraining line since there was no possession called by the officials. That is considered leaving the box early.
12 multi-goal games for Degnan this season. He's been at the top of the Big Ten goal scoring list all season long. Alex Wicks has possession for Maryland with 80 seconds to go in the frame. Urksa has been 2-goal performance from Syracuse, 4-goal lead for Maryland. Win of the draw, Narewski going right to the cooker, flicks it on. Long drive, Raposo, as a flag settles down on the turf with 13.8 to play.
Looked like that was something behind the play that the officials saw. He's going to call an interference against Maryland, and it looks like the guilty party will be
indoors in Evanston.
Get on the Skane train or get out of the way. She will run you over. Hannah Nielsen, head coach at Michigan, played for Kelly Amonte Hiller. The boss at Northwestern, won multiple national championships. Always fun when those two match wits.
Maryland gets possession again. Largest lead on the day is 13-8. Jack Brennan gave it to him. Brennan, the son of James and Kristen, one of 6 kids in the family. Terps call time to keep. As always in the fourth, Wierman and Narewski. Popped loose by Wierman, and he controls. Luke Wierman says his teammates, his coaching staff, they have so much trust in him. He takes so many draws game after game, and he wins so many of the ones that matter most.
Use all of that tall 6'3" frame.
Wierman gets the draw again against Narewski. Brennan, who prior to today, his last goal came way back against Michigan in the regular season, has fashioned 2 in the fourth to give Maryland some breathing room with 4:20 left in regulation.